Hello again, this is Katie, and welcome to My Bi Life. So, I think today's topic is going to be my high school years. And like I've said, I don't remember them very well because of a number of factors, but most of all is medication, abusing the wrong medication given to me. What I know happened and what I've been told by a few people. First of all, let me start with me, I suppose. That would probably be the best place to start. And what I know happened for me at the time. I was cycling. Cycling. And I was on Zoloft, which is the wrong medication for me. I needed a mood stabilizer, and SSRI is not a mood stabilizer. I was abusing the medication, like I've explained. Take one, wait a couple days, take two, wait a couple days, take three. And I would do this consistently. Every day, I would mess with my medication somehow because I think instinctively I knew it was the wrong one, and I wanted to get off of it. But every time I tried to get off of it, my mother would put me back on it. She would take it away from me. She would absolutely take it away from me and give it to me in, you know, the little things that you snap that had the days of the week on them. She would give me medication, but I would cheat and I would take two when she didn't realize it. And then she would give me another one because I would say, well, I don't think you put this date in right. So she'd give me another one. Or I would, like, empty one out in the trash and not tell her. And then it would just be a whole cycle. And during that time also, I was unfortunately having to deal with her alcoholism. And that was difficult also. And I remember being extremely manic at school. Extremely manic, unable to stop talking. I couldn't stop being violently myself. I would be so hyper and so manic, and my brain was running so fast that I didn't make sense. I would speak, but I did not make sense. And people were genuinely concerned about what was going on with me. I got called to the guidance counselor's office a couple of times and told, "Are you okay?" Because people are concerned, but you're not making a whole lot of sense when you speak sometimes. I also remember an incident in my Latin class when I had just got back from the doctor's office. For some reason, I don't know why I was in the doctor's office, but they had taken my weight and I was overweight. And I remember absolutely falling apart. Just randomly just falling to pieces in the middle of class, crying, making a gigantic scene, slamming my fist on the table, just absolutely going insane. And so my teacher called me out into the hall and said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I remember saying, "I'm fat. I'm so fat. I'm just fat. I'm ugly and I'm fat." She was just, "Calm down. It's okay. You're not ugly. You're not fat." She was just trying to placate me and trying to say, "No, you're fine. You're fine." But I got sent to the guidance counselor's office again. Same thing. Just out of control emotion, out of control, not able to rein myself in, either it be severe mania or severe depression, just not able. Everything was just so explosive, so overdone, so overly dramatic. Not necessarily as a result of my home life, though it was tumultuous, but my illness itself is just inherently overdramatic because it cycles. I have now 20-minute cycles. Well, I'll be manic, and then I'll be depressed, and then I'll be manic again, all within 20 minutes. Technically is what I have is what's called ultra-rapid cycling. Ultradian rapid cycling, actually, is more specific. Because, side note, the term rapid cycling and the diagnosis for rapid cycling, you have to do a full cycle. So mania, depression, mania is a full cycle at least three, but sometimes four times per year. That consists of rapid cycling. And when I started rapid cycling, it was about 22, 24 hours. So, during the day at school, I was manic. But when I came home, I was severely depressed. I came home, immediately took a nap on the couch, 3 hours, didn't do homework, didn't do anything. Went to bed, severely depressed. Woke up again the next day, 24 hours, highly manic. not able to control how fast I was talking, what I was saying, not able to control if I was able to sit still, which I usually wasn't. I was usually like this, jumping up and down in a chair. Sometimes I was jumping up and down in the hallway. Skipping to class, it was a mess. Absolute disaster. My brain was an absolute disaster. At the time, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what, and I didn't know how to explain it. I remember just hating my brain. And I couldn't sleep. I've really never been able to sleep, but during this time, I really didn't sleep. I slept maybe 3 or 4 hours a night. I would just be awake all night. That was it. I would just be awake all night, and that doesn't help. Especially the manic part, because, what's in motion wants to stay in motion. I would take a nap every day from when I got home from school before my mother got home. My mother also has bipolar disorder. It's hereditary. It's definitely hereditary. During school hours, I was an absolute mess. And when I came home, I was a different type of absolute mess. I would crash. And depression, I think it's pretty normalized now, but depression is lethargy, lack of wanting to do anything, lack of wanting to interact with people, lack of, hygiene. Usually people who are depressed will just stay in bed, stay on the couch, stay in the house, and not because they're just a hermit. You can have the most outgoing person who still has depression, e.g. Robin Williams, who has depression, who's battling it, who will say, I'm fine, but then go home and stare at the wall because they can't do anything else. Usually people with severe depression don't cry. Depression, for me anyway, is different than most people have the impression of. When you think depression, you think crying alone in your room, listening to sad music. Okay, sure. That's sort of what it is. That's more just sad. What I've just described is just more sad. A moment of sadness, a moment of despair. But it passes. My bipolar tends to swing depressed, which I actually like because I like to sleep. So with my depression, even though it doesn't last as long as other people with bipolar disorder, with my depression, I can go into a stupor, which is, I can explain it from the inside. My brain will be telling my body to do something. My body is not responding. It looks like I'm catatonic. It looks like I'm dead on the inside. And it looks like I'm just like slumped over. And it's quite scary because I'm telling my body, move your arm, move your arm, move your arm. And my arm is not moving. I've had this happen 2 or 3 times. Usually it doesn't last more than about 20 minutes, but for those 20 minutes, it's absolutely terrifying. Because it's like, what if, like right now, I have a dog. I recently got him, and one of my major stressors about getting him, even though he's my emotional support animal, an entirely different topic I'll cover, is the fact that sometimes I do go into a stupor. And what if, he gets into something and I need to do something to make sure that he doesn't die or whatever. That was a consideration for me. My main concern is, what if I can't get out of the bed and take him outside? Fortunately, he's an adult dog. All he wants to do is sleep, and he's totally fine. Oh, hallelujah. So that's an aspect of depression, of my depression. But also another aspect of depression is compartmentalizing emotion. If something happens and I don't react to it immediately, most likely I'm depressed, and I'm compartmentalizing that emotion to feel it when I am manic later, which is a reason I hate mania. I hate mania because I don't like feeling things, and that's when my emotion comes out. That's when I start emotionally purging. I feel all this stuff that I should have felt when I was depressed and my emotion system was shut down. When all of the dopamine and serotonin in my body just disappeared and I should have been feeling these things, no, it just went into a box with a lid, and it came out when I had the happy emotions, making my brain awake again. That's another aspect of depression. But I think the overall main theme of depression is just lethargy, brain is void of happy emotions or happy chemicals, you don't want to do anything, you don't take care of yourself, you're unhygienic, you don't want to interact with people. You either don't eat or eat too much. Usually you don't eat because you're not really moving around doing too many things. That would happen to me every day when I came home from school. And I don't think anybody ever knew that. I think everybody just recognized me as being the hyper girl. At school, I was very hyper. But at home, I crashed. I tried to deal with it as best as I could and failed miserably doing so. I was a handful and a half. So God bless you, Sarah. I love you. There you go. That's video number 3. I guess I'll see you next time.